Hi folks, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. So, this is the solutions for the revision 2 exercise for the finance only part of the managing finance and statistics. So, if you're in class, you have seen me going through this, but I know some people might not have been there for whatever reason, and some people in the future might see this as well when I'm long gone. So in your files, you've actually got a copy of the actual revision exercise, but I'll put it up. I don't expect you to, I'm not going to read this out. Okay, but we've got this case study. Somebody called Emma Kelly, somebody called Tommy Kelly. Do you know what they've got in common? See their first two names? They've got double M in there, M&M. That's strange, that. Right, so here we go, and we get children, 17, 12 and 14, and we are going to look at kind of monthly income and monthly expenditure in this here. So, and that's what they're saying. So we're basically going to fill in the slots here. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Then we're going to look at their expenditure. How much are they spending? So here I'm going for it, right? So I've just taken our, this is our annual yearly income. So, but we're looking for monthly. So let's just go for both of them. For monthly wages, one at a time. So for the person Tommy, we take the annual amount and we divide it by 12. And hopefully you get that, 1171. In pounds, let's do the same for the other person called Emma. Right, so Emma shares a little bit more. She's got a better job. It's probably cleverer than Tommy. Right, so we're going to divide Emma's annual wage by 12, and we get a figure like that there. So we've now got the 2 monthly wages. Other things, we get family tax credit, we'll get child benefits. So if you go back to page 1, you can see that they have actually got 3 children, and according to the benefits system, they get £84.50 for the first one, and they get £53.25 for each other additional child. So they'll get 3 children. So the first one will get the higher amount, and the other 2 will get the lower amount. So it'll be 2 times the lower amount. So that's the higher amount and 2 times the lower amount. Okay, so we'll just file that into our calculator, bit at a time, and come up with that figure there. So that is a total child benefit of £191. Okay, so let's take all these figures. So the 2 Kellys, Tommy and Emma, family tax credit, but you're actually given, so you don't need to work that out. Child benefit, we just worked it out, and then we'll go for the total income. We'll add up all 4 of those values, and it's all in pounds here. So I'm just going to put in the naked numbers that we've just worked out, or 3 of them we did. So add them up, and I would double or triple check that just to make sure that you're happy, content with your answer. And I think 2848, that's okay. Well, that's okay for some people. Right, let's move on. So expenditure, this is our outgoings. And you can see a big list there of things that they're spending stuff on. I'm sure they spend money in other things, but these are the main things. So we're just going to take these numbers on the right hand side and add them up. Again, double and triple check that you've added them up correctly. So I'm getting 1680, £1,680. Hopefully you get that. Let's move on. So we're going to take the total income and compare that with what they spend, the total expenditure, and we're going to find the difference between these. So we would really like to have more money coming in than we have going out. If we've got more money coming in than we have going out, then that is a surplus. If actually we've got less, then that's a deficit, a negative. So let's take those two figures, 2848, take away this 1680, and the calculator gives us 1168. The calculator doesn't give you pounds, but the calculator doesn't have a little minus sign in front of it. So because of that, that means that answer is positive. So since that answer is positive, that means sometimes they use the phrase, you're in the black. In the black means surplus, in the red means deficit. So we're in the black. So for us here, it's a surplus. So please write these things down. Always comment, because they did ask you in the question to comment. And I'm just saying here, it's because the figure is positive. If it was negative, it would be a deficit. Okay, that was the end of question 1. Let's move on. So some person, Mr. Buller, wins £2,500. Right, that's fine. So, and for some reason, they're going to invest it for a year. And basically, they're saying in 3 different ways. There's 3 different kind of institutions they're going to invest in for this 1 year. And we're only interested in calculating the interest only. So there you go, Westbank, Federalist Society, Bank of Glasgow, and we've got the details there. But this is quite small, and at the bottom, you should advise Mr. Buller which one he should choose. So realistically, it's the one that's paying the most interest. So let's go for them. Let's enlarge this so we can see it. Let's do it one by one. And like I said, we're going to advise this person. And it says justify your answers with the calculations. So you basically say, well, this is the biggest number with this institution, so that's why we're picking them. And probably mention the figure and institution. Okay, Westbank, 1.1% for interest per annum, tax-free. This is straightforward. So it's 1.1% of the 2,500. Let's start changing this. Okay, we'll use the percentages by now. Fire that in your calculator. And it doesn't give you a pound sign. It probably only says 27.5. But because we're dealing with money, probably put a 0 at the end. Yeah. So that looks like Westbank. Their interest is £27.50. Take a note of that separately. Let's move on to the next one. So the next one is the Friendly Society, but this time we have got an initial interest rate of 1.6%, but it's getting taxed at 25%. So that means you would taking a certain amount of money away from your initial interest that you calculate. So let's go and calculate that. So 1.6% of the £2,500. Let's go through it as per normal. Let's get an answer. So what's that going to be? Something like £40. And I'm going to take it down here because I think I need more space because there's something else going on. Because we've got this secondary part here. We're going to tax that £40 at 25%. So it's 25% of the £40. So I'm just going straight to it. 25% is 25 divided by 100 times that £40, and hopefully your calculator gives you 10, which is £10 for us. So we are going to be deducting £10 from that initial £40. So we are going to get that total interest, and like I said there, the £40 take away the £10. So we're just going to put that down as £30. So that's our total interest for the Friendly Society. Done. Right, okay. I think this is us moving on to the third one. Bank of Glasgow. Here, the initial rate is 1.4%. That should be straightforward. But then, just like the last one, we're taxing that amount once we've got it at a certain value of a 20% taxation. So let's go and get the 1.4% of the 2,500. Go through it as per normal. So that should give you 1.4, £35, I think. Let's see. Yeah, 35. Okay. So that's the initial interest rate, but that's been taxed at 20%. So we need to find 20% of that amount there. 20% tax, so 20%, 20 divided by 100 times £35 is, what's that, a fifth of 35? That's what it really is. £7? Yep, good. That's us. So the final part here, the £7 is a tax, which we're taking off of the £35. So in total here, it's just going to be your 35, take away your 7, both in pounds, and hopefully you get £28. So the Bank of Glasgow, they pay out £28 in interest. So you've now got three figures. Those three, if I can remember. First one, 27.50, second one, £30, and this one, £28. So we're just going to pick the highest figure and advise Mr. Buller. So there you go. So it looks like it was a friendly society. So you should say to Mr. Buller, go for the friendly society as they offer the highest interest rate. So you need to say that. And you can actually mention the other two. You can say that is greater than £28 and greater than £27.50 offered by the other two financial institutions. Okay, all done. Let's move on. So Christina, who lives in Inverness, we're going to say that's Inverness in Scotland. So we're based in the UK. They're going to buy a modern tablet, and that's like a laptop, a PC, whatever you want to call it. And so we'll get two countries, France and the USA, where they can get them from. We'll get two prices here, and we'll get two exchange rates. So this is a currency exchange problem. And at the bottom, which country would be cheaper to buy the tablet from and why? So basically, what one is the cheapest once we've converted it to pounds? So I'm just enlarging this here so we can see it. So don't mix up your exchange rates with the different countries. So we'll take these separately. So we're going for France first. So the amount in euros, 425.50, and we've got the exchange rate £1 to €1.15. Because we're coming back to pounds, which is a base currency, going away from pounds you would multiply, but coming back from another currency you would divide. So that's exactly what we're going to do here when we convert to the pounds. So the 425.50 divided by 1.15, and that answer will be in pounds. Sterling, they sometimes say. So there you go. That was quite straightforward. So just take a note of that figure and make sure you know that's related to the price from France. Next, let's go for the other country. I think it was the USA. Got a price $504 and £1 to $1.40. So again, we're going to convert it to pounds again, because we're coming back from another currency to pounds, which I call the base currency. We're going to be dividing. So take that there and just put that in your calculator, put it in your head and see what it gives you. We seem to be getting nice answers for these two. So £360 for the USA version. We're assuming these are the same tablets, same laptops, whatever you want to call them. So we've now got two values here. One for the USA, we can see here, and one for France, we did previously. So what we're going to do here is have a price comparison. So here we go. We got France, the USA. So figures for each. £370 for France, £360 for the USA. So like it says, price comparison. Right, we want the lowest one, because there's no difference. So it looks like the USA 360 is lower than 370. So put down something like that there. Don't just say buy from the USA. You need to say it's actually cheaper and show the prices in this bottom line here. I think that one was pretty straightforward. Okay. Moving on, this is question 4. This looks like the last question here. It looks like there's 2 parts, maybe 3 parts. Some person called Saida, they want to basically get a loan of 7,200. Yeah, they want to re-roof their house, but we don't care about that. We've got an annual simple interest rate of 8%, that's important. But we've got 2 options here, one for 24 months and one for 36 months. So the 24 months, that's important because it's going to be monthly repayments. But we need to think about 24 months in terms of years as well. So 24 divided by 12 gives you 2. So this is 2 years. And downstairs, the 36 months divided by 12 is 3. So that's 3 years. So we've got 2 years and 3 years options in relation to 24 months and 36 months. Right, and that's because our interest rate is per annum, so we need to think about 2 years interest and 3 years interest. But initially, we need to work out 1 year's interest. That's going to come into both options. So it's 1 year simple interest, and that was 8% of the £7,200. And we're all experts at this now. 8 over 100 times the £7,200. 8 divided by 100 times £7,200. Calculator time and put a pound in front of your answer of 576. Right, so that's for basic building block for however many years we need in interest. If it was 7 years you were going over, you'd have to have 7 amounts of 576 plus the initial loan amount, whatever it was. So please bear that in mind. So we don't have to work this out again. It's going to be involved in both. So we have this answer. Right, let's go for the 2 options. Option 1, like I said, 24 months and 2 years. Put both of them down here. Both are going to come in. The 24 and the 2 are going to come in here. So actually, how much does Saida owe? Well, the 2 parts to this is the initial loan amount and the interest accumulated over the 2 years. So the loan amount is the same, 7,200, but the interest here, it's not just a 576 that we worked out there, because we've got 2 years. Okay, so it's got to be 2 lots of that, and 2 lots means 2 times that. So you could do 2 times 576 to get 1152 or whatever it is, and add it to the 7,200. Or you can put it in your calculator in one go. You don't need a bracket, but put them in for safety if you want, and we'll get an answer like that. 8352. I know you can read. So just want to emphasize for this option, there's a 24-month option, that is much the person owes. But we want to know about the monthly repayments, because that might be too big to pay that back in one go. So we know it's now 24 months. So the monthly repayment is take that amount, 8352, and divide it by those months, divide it by the 24. And hopefully you get £348. I'm going to do exactly the same for option 2. The only thing that's changing is we're going from 24 months to 36 months. So 36 months means 3 years. So the layout should be almost exactly the same, only a couple of numbers are going to change here. First part, amount owed, again, it's the loan and interest. Initial loan stays the same at 7,200. The interest, that's a per annum interest, 576, but we can see up top right, it's 3 years, so it must be 3 years worth. So it must be 3 times that amount. Doing a slightly different colour, just to emphasise that. So you can do that in one go, or you can do it in 2 pieces. I've done it in one go, so you can double check that I'm correct here. And when I was doing it in class, because I did do it today, and this was the first time people have seen this, because I just wrote this last week, I just wrote the answers today, we all agreed that that was correct. Well done, Tommy. Right, okay, that's the entire amount we owe, but we are interested in monthly repayments. So we look upstairs again, and we can see the number of months. This is taken out over, so it's 36 months. So take that 8928, and can you please divide that by 36? And this was a well thought through problem. Can't even say that. It was well thought through. I reverse engineered it, so we're going to get a nice answer here of £248. Right, that is us actually finished, because they're not actually asking which one is better, because one was for 2 years, one was for 3 years. The more years you take it out over, the cheaper the repayments are going to be. But actually you pay more than them. But the thing is, can you afford it budget-wise, monthly, with your current salary or income, whatever it is? So, hopefully that wasn't too fast, but as you know, you can always rewind, have a little think about this, and I'm going to just bring this. 24 minutes, Tommy, that was not bad at all. So what I'm going to do here, you can see that's 1902. I'll be surprised if I can get that uploaded before 2000. It just takes ages on YouTube. So I'm going to close it. So good night, folks, and please have a look at this, because this does eat into my free time.